help if I turned on my speakers. Okay. Hey, welcome in. How goes it? I got stuff to do this afternoon, so I want to start nice and early. Get things going. Should... Oh yeah, this is when I used to stream in the morning. We've moved past it, yep. Should we just spend today trashing on JD Vance? Is that what we should do? Get chocolate, welcome in. I totally thought your name was Cannon Chocolate, and Cannon Chocolate is funny, but also like Chocolate Cannon would be a good name too, so that's great. Welcome in. It's early. We haven't done anything yet today. I have the viewer suggestion up today. It is Wednesday. We're going to draw some stuff. We're going to hang out. We're going to start with the rugby. It's going to be good.
Now we'll try not to bring up politics.
It's about that time. Like, it's about that time when that's
Yeah,
kind of the only thing on everybody's mind.
Yeah.
So, I get it.
The only political thing I'll say is I love the JD Vance memes that are going on right now.
They're pretty funny. They're pretty funny. I'm getting some weird feedback.
It's weird.
Don't know if
Me?
Yeah, unless there's someone else in the call. Oh, Bryce here. Ah, that's what's going on.
Yeah, Brian's here.
Can I go ahead
and unmuted? And the druid popped in, but
Druid, welcome in.
is muted.
Also muted it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. We're around. We're here. We're doing stuff. Let's get to getting. Dun, dun. Brian, welcome in. Family's here, screaming kids. Mike didn't mix it, so I muted it. Fair enough. That's also fair enough. It's the summer, you know? Like, the summer is the time for just too many people at everybody's houses. Which sounds awful.
Especially,
so
like...
The people that are at my house, I'm very happy
school.
they're here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very happy that the people that are coming to visit us are here. I love them, and they're great. But it is... This next week will be the first week we haven't had anything to do for, like, 3 months. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do.
Exciting.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried that I'm gonna like freak out because I'm not gonna have anything to do. Happy birthday! Is this your birthday? No, it's probably somebody's birthday, so they might be excited. Elliot, welcome in.
So what is Pioneer Day?
Is today Pioneer Day? Oh,
I don't know what that is.
I don't exactly. Whoops. Know what Pioneer Day is, but we used to celebrate it in Idaho. So I was unmuted. I didn't even talk. Sorry if I offended somebody. No, you just. There was a little bit of noise that I thought was Corvus, and when I checked, it was you, so I muted you. But I didn't hear anything. It was just background noise. It's a religious colonialist holiday, but Western U.S. specific. Gotcha.
Yeah. It originated in Utah, so.
No, but of course it did. Utah is a funny thing, specifically Salt Lake, because it's like, we've gone to the promised land, but also we're kind of tired, so this is good enough.
Ah, yes. Let's pick this lake that we can't even drink the water from. Smart.
Phone on your desk.
Sorry.
That makes sense. A Western migration thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Kentucky. We don't celebrate that shit.
You celebrate the Derby days.
Oh, yeah, we do. Well, parts of the state do.
The rich parts too.
Yeah. Well, where they have the races at. So there'll be Lexington and Louisville. Like there's steamboat races, hot air balloon races.
Is the paper different? Yeah. I change the paper up every now and again.
Oh, I know something we could talk about.
Okay.
Oracle.
Yeah, hit me. So you said that they changed the way that the it sounds
curse
like
stuff works.
Because the way the curses used to work is they were just permanent things that were on you all the time.
Yeah, so
it sounds like it's more like the Blood Hunter now.
So in 2E, before pre-remaster stuff, way your curse worked was when you would cast one of your focus spells, it would up your curse. And the curses had both negatives and positives to it.
Does it reset at the end of the day?
Well, when you refocus.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, interesting.
So,
yeah, because before in Pathfinder 1, your curse basically just ramped up with your level. So, like, at level 1, if you were an undead oracle, you looked undead and had, like, I think you might have had some negative resistance. But then by the time you were, like, level 15, you were undead. You had the undead trait, and you emitted a negative aura. No, that's what it was. You originally had a negative aura of just, like, people could sense that you were undead. But then by level 15, you have, like, all the resistances that come with being dead. You have resistance to necrotic damage. You gain additional spells. But it builds up over the levels instead of being a, like, per day thing.
Yeah.
Yes, papers everything.
So, take the life oracle as my prime example, because it's the one I looked at the most.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian. I mean, like, I'm surprised you haven't jumped on Oracle. Oracle it's all about the curses.
Yep. So, in pre-remaster, every mystery gave you a mystery benefit, and the life oracles, instead of having 8 plus your Constitution modifier and hit points, you have 10 plus your Constitution modifier when you level up. And when your curse activates when it gets to like a medium level, you get a penalty to your healing equal to half your level, which is a lot more manageable than what it is now.
Is that
And
only healing on you or healing in general?
healing on you.
Okay, that makes more
Like
sense.
magical, specifically magical healing.
It's harder to heal yourself, but you're really good at healing other people.
Yeah, or anyone else trying to heal you.
Yeah.
So,
Which I think is really funny, and I'm totally for.
yep. And the bonus or the positive that you get from that is when you cast heal, specifically the heal spell, you roll d12s instead of d8s for the amount of healing. So you become really good at healing people when you're cursed.
I think in first edition you just maximized it as a life oracle, which was kind of fun. It was just like you were super efficient at healing, but I don't remember what the curse was.
Yeah. 1-1E, you just got to pick your curse.
That's right. Like, you picked a curse and you got a boon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the life cleric, life oracle, you don't receive the mystery benefit, so you no longer get a d10 of hit points every time you level up, plus your con mod. And you now take a penalty to your healing, which is, I sent it to you.
It's like something times your level.
Yeah, your curse times your level. So you could theoretically, like, if you're level 10, you're just not going to be being healed, like, at all by magical healing. So you basically are very much stuck using elixirs of life, because those are non-magical healing.
That makes sense. I mean, it doesn't, but that's fine.
Yeah, but you don't get the bonus to your heal spells or anything. And yeah, so it's just like I'm not saying they nerfed oracles. I'm just saying their oracles are still very strong. They just kind of took away the really flavorful things away from the oracle. And for simplicity's sake, so like you don't have to keep track of like what were my positives at this level or what are my negatives. Yeah. You just now have to think of the negatives.
See the negatives in your math. That's interesting. Yeah, let's see how that rolls. I've never seen that short before. Yeah, the Kobold marching band is really funny. You should go check that out. I have a couple different versions of it. So, but yeah. So, yes. Did you? I want to clarify for the Oracle. You're because you're saying that they lost the flavor because it's kind of front end loaded, or just because it no longer ramps. Like, which is the difference?
So, I don't really know. So, it's just each of the mysteries had their own unique curses, and like each one very much kind of changed your play style. Like Battle Cleric made you being a like kind of a Gish character. The Ancestor Oracle, you had to juggle the different roles of being possessed by your ancestors. Yeah. That was kind of their gimmick. All that's gone. It's just Ancestors, you're clumsy 4, or at max curse level, which is
weird. Yeah, that's not as fun.
-4 to your AC. Actually, that may even be more. But yeah,
but you don't have the.
Some of them are just really bad now. It's
weird.
I don't see many people taking the Ancestor Oracle or the Life Oracle because they're just really bad.
What was Burning playing?
Cosmos Oracle.
Cosmos Oracle, okay.
And basically, their curse has basically remained unchanged, except remove all the positives that they ever got.
I wonder if they're burying the positive stuff in the feats or something.
They kinda are.
Okay.
So
that would make more sense.
Ancestry or Ancestor Oracle, their main gimmick was where you would roll a d4, and whatever you got was whenever that certain ancestor would take over your body,
Mm-hmm.
and you would have to do a required action. So if a warrior ancestor takes over, you have to take a strike action
Okay.
or take a negative.
I like that.
And
That's fun.
and now that's just like, I think a level 4, maybe, or level 6 feat now.
Okay,
And
but so
it's
that
just,
still does exist. It's just
yes, they just have removed it away from being a class feature.
so does it then allow you to still do the like what's the benefit of that? Why would you take a derogatory not derogatory but like detrimental feat? What does the feat bonus give you for that?
I don't know because I don't have the book,
Gotcha.
and I would have to so I would have to
That's fair.
get back with you later and from rewatching that video. But yeah, and what a lot of it is, a lot of the feats that you get are referred to as curse-bound feats, which aren't focus spells anymore. Though some do give you focus spells, but they don't up your curse anymore.
Gotcha. No reason you can't play Legacy. Yeah, that's fair too. Like, there's no reason you have to play
you definitely still can play Legacy.
Brian,
I feel like...
Oh, sorry, Corvus. Let me do something.
I was just going to say, there are probably a lot of people not switching over to the new Oracle.
And there are a lot of people that still play Pathfinder First Edition, so like, I think that's always going to be the case. I got my submission late. Brian, if you just posted it to YouTube, I don't see it because I don't have YouTube there. Can you post it in the chat? I will put it on the list. I want to roll the first one. Oh god, I'm so tired already. It's not good. It's not good. I guess I'm tired because I just woke up. So that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. 11. So the way this works, by the way, for people who are new, is I have a list of all the things that have been posted on the community post on Monday, or Monday to today. A Warforged potion vendor. Ooh, I like that. Okay, put that on the list. I roll the dice. The dice gods decide what we draw, and we're going to go from there. So, I rolled an 11, which is a half-elf drow fighter, Eldritch Knight with a short sword and a shield. Simple. I like it. Very good. Just drink some coffee? Yeah. That will be the plan.
Oh, God. That's a weird YouTube thing. They changed YouTube. It's no longer called community. It's now just called posts.
Posts? Interesting. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
They kept sending me stuff of like, hey, we realized that you guys hate the community post section, but also like it. We're going to get rid of it. And then people would yell at them like, we're going to keep it, but not do anything to it. We don't know what to do with it. Please help us. And it's like, YouTube, just, I don't know what to do with you.
Tell us what you want, people.
Yeah. Okay, half-elf drow, short sword. How would I draw a half-elf drow? Interesting.
Half drow.
Half drow. We're always telling YouTube what we want, they just don't listen. I think really that's part of the issue is YouTube is a very strange social media environment, right? Because anybody can just post their crap. And sorry, that may have sounded a little offensive. Like, literally anybody can just upload a video of whatever they want, right? Like, it doesn't have to be topical. It doesn't have to be like related to anything. They can post it with no tags and just leave it there, right? And so the problem with that is that unlike Twitter or Instagram, YouTube doesn't really have the search term functionality if somebody just uploads their video and leaves it. And so there's a lot of content that like suffers from bad SEO that will never be seen or understood. So YouTube doesn't really have a way to see how many people are mad about something except through their kind of underwhelming metrics on other videos, right? So like if a small creator has a problem, YouTube's not going to hear it because it doesn't have any interaction on it. But if a large creator has a problem, then YouTube will see it because people are interacting with that video. And so that's it's just really weird kind of, YouTube has to use secondary things to hear its audience. And there are so many different audiences that I think they basically have no idea. They don't listen to people because there's no way to do that. It's very strange. Yeah. They don't know how to hear unless someone big gets screwed up and the whole internet explodes. Exactly, yeah. Like, whereas with Twitter, if you see something... Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
No, it's true. It's a miracle that YouTube works at all. A little bit, yeah. A little bit. Because really, like, YouTube doesn't use the videos, which is its mainstay of things, as a means for understanding the world it interacts with, right? Because it can't. It can only interact with the comments and the descriptions. Which is just kind of the nature of the beast, I guess, when you're running a video platform. Because there's no way that they could have somebody, like, watching all the videos that are uploaded. It's impossible. As a company. If that makes sense.
So yeah, briefly going back to Oracle.
Hit me.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
The changes are just so wild. Like, if I was ever to pick it back, or not pick it back, but to pick up Remaster Oracle, I probably would just be the Flame Oracle. Like, I can deal with burning each round. It's like, I can still heal myself.
Jump Rope has played the medium and the it might be the Ancient Oracle, where you lose control of your character, and they were both really funny.
Yeah.
Like, really funny. So, like, I think there is very much just, like, the Oracle is one of those things where, because you're forced to take a negative or a detrimental effect, like, it takes a certain type of player to want to let those effects happen. So, like, you're okay with damage. Like, I can take damage. I would be totally fine not being able to heal myself. I think that's great. Like, I love that idea.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm going to heal you, and you're going to watch me die. And it's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
So
I would be okay with that if I got some sort of, like, I don't know, status bonus for healing while not being able to heal myself.
Well, wait, like you need a status bonus? Because, like, the status bonuses that you're healing should be amazing, right? Like,
no, that's not how the life Oracle works anymore.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they can't just be giving you a detrimental status effect for hit points. That doesn't make any sense. Is that like?
Yeah. So, let me see. All right, at level 10, if I have one level of the curse of the new life oracle,
okay,
which then is, I just now have take minus 10 to my healing because it's just 10 times 1. But if that's like plus 4, 9, 10, that's 40. So that's basically just taking out healing.
I'm seeing some things online that people are like, you guys forgot to design the life oracle. So maybe they forgot to post something in there.
Oracle, I will say, I should also have prefaced, this may be subject to change due to there are several, like, conflicting information in the Oracle section.
Okay.
Like with spells.
Okay.
It's like, one section says you get this many, the graph says you get this much, and it's just like, which is it?
Yeah, because I would say it would make sense. I was gonna add earlier, like, if they're augmenting your health because you're losing the ability to heal, that makes sense. Fine. But, like, that in itself is not a good trade. So you would have to either have, like, way more spells, way more healing spells, or more powerful healing spells to counteract that for it to be the life cleric specifically, because that's kind of their jam.
Yeah.
So I'm betting they didn't add something.
And like I said, you no longer get mystery benefits from your mystery curses. So you no longer are getting the extra padding of hit points in the new remaster. And so, like, the thing is...
So, do you want to hear the really cool thing that Life Oracle used to get?
Sure.
As a standard action, you can transform your body into pure life energy, resembling a golden white fire elemental. In this form, you gain the elemental subtype, and essentially, you can walk through people and undead creatures to do 1d6 hit points plus one per your level. So you basically just turn into a giant beacon of holy life and just like, like wander through people.
I mean,
that's
I would
cool.
like that.
Yeah, that's great. The Life Oracle was really cool.
And so just like bleeding out life energy and not using it to heal people with, it seems counterintuitive.
Thank you, Elliot, for the $4, $5. I'm going to turn off the ads. Everyone can thank Elliot. I would appreciate it if you thanked Elliot for supporting the channel and for making this not advertised. Because, yeah, I don't know. I don't like ads. But I need them. Yep. Hey, guys, got to back to the cages. Parents have figured out the cake is a lie. Uh-oh, that's not good. Best of luck, Bri. We'll catch you later. Elliot, what Pathfinder should definitely not forget
political season.
Yeah, 100%.
So ads will be coming up soon.
Yeah, and I'm not looking forward to that. Enhanced curses. When you cast a cure spell, the maximum number of hit points healed is based on your oracle level, not the limited base of the spell. For example, at 11th level, the Oracle of Life with a revelation may cast Cure Light Wounds with 1d8 plus 11 instead of the 1d8 plus 5. So that's cool. That was the cool thing about the Life Oracle, is that they boosted their healing, which I really love. Mm-hmm. So if it is just, they do get temporary hit points as well. Whenever you heal with a healing spell, it heals up to the maximum hit points. Yeah, and maximizes the spell. You can do that once per day, and it gives them temporary hit points as well. So yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. It seems like they got to the first part and then forgot to write the rest of it. It's just like,
that's how it feels a lot of times with this new remastered stuff, especially in Player Core 2. It's like, did you just like fall asleep halfway through and sent to the printer? Because like you do get revelation spells.
Okay.
That is the thing that you still keep with your focus spells.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all different types of healing adjacent stuff.
Which is good. Like,
so there is a version of that transformation called life-giving form.
Okay. So like,
but it's what level? I think it's like a level 12 that you have to take.
It was supposed to be level 11 or 12, so I was going to say 11, but that makes sense. Paizo needs more editors, and their own disorganized information is how much they keep track of them. Yeah, I do think that's probably the case. Elliot, was there something you'd like me to sketch? I was trying to do the monthly things, but I think just give me a mini suggestion, and I'll give it a sketch. Same rules apply. Drawing little kaijus was pretty fun, though. I've made a sad drow kid, and I don't know what to do about it. So, if all the revelations which are just focus spells, I think that's fine. But you're saying that they're uncoupled from being a life oracle, and they're uncoupled from being the curse you pick, or is it the other way around?
So basically, your mystery and your curse are tied together in 2E.
Okay, good.
That's how it was when they first published in second edition.
So all life oracles will
have the same curse.
Okay.
Yep.
But then they
have just removed in the remaster any positive benefit that you get from the curse outside of getting extra spells.
Okay, so there are extra spells that are based on your curse that you only have access if you take that curse.
Yes.
Okay. So see, I think it'll be fine. I think it's fine then. It's just everything's just kind of hidden, which is Yeah, kind of the
Well,
problem.
that was also how it was in the pre-remaster. Like, you still got... Well, you got a spell.
Yeah. That was my problem with the remaster, is that there's a lot of things that, like, or not the remaster, the original, is that they're like, okay, cool, you guys have options at level 4 of 1. It's like, that's not an option. If it's the only thing I have, it's not an option. So,
Yeah.
it's like, if you're going to do that, just give it to the character. But, so, if all they did is add extra spells to that, I'm okay with that. But if what they did is take the things that were already on the Oracle and then remove them so that it looks like you have more options, I'm not okay with that, and that makes me mad if that's what they did. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Because not all the unique features of the curses have been made into feats. Some of the more fun ones to work around with have been, but like some are just like gone.
Interesting.
And so the way they work now is oracles now can pick from, instead of 2 domains, they can pick from 4 domains. So I will say, like, I'm not even saying like oracles have been nerfed or made weak. They've been made arguably even stronger. It's just the flavor and not flavor, but like the uniqueness has been taken out of them for simplicity of new players, I feel like. Because you no longer have to juggle, like, what am I getting at this turn? Oh, okay, if I'm a ancestor oracle, I get clumsy too at this stage. Right. Great.
There was this kind of the problem we used to have with barbarians, which I think might still be a problem, but I'm not sure. Like when you rage, you basically need another character sheet, right? And so with the Oracle, there was a point in time when it was like, oh, I am now possessed by this character. I need another character sheet. So I don't know if that's still going to be a problem, or if it is just they're trying to simplify it so that you don't have to worry about that shit anymore.
I think they're trying to like simplify it and like condense it down a lot. Because even with the ancestor stuff, you weren't, your stats weren't changing every time you got possessed. It was also every round they would just roll.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it wasn't in like the medium where you would like
you become a different
get completely
character.
taken over.
You're a barbarian now. It's like, oh, all right, cool.
Yep. But yeah, some of them have made it out even better than others. Others have just been like really like weakened. Not even weak. It's just like the curse is just like, I don't want to take any feat that would give me this curse level because it would just make this character unplayable.
I still, I don't know. I always push back with that kind of thought process because, why would I make my character an alcoholic? It's like, because it's interesting. Like it's not supposed to be optimal. So I'm always of the mind that like, just because it's not optimal, it might still be fun, and I'm interested in it. So
again, that may be true, but it's like I said, some give you enfeebled, like at max level 4, which is really bad. Some give you clumsy which just means you're gonna be critted on all the time.
Yeah, I remember one that I think one of my friends
doing high level play.
Yeah. One of my friends I think was playing an Oracle that got exhausted, and I'm pretty sure they died.
Yeah.
Like they died from it. It's like, oh.
Yep.
But like, I think they got haste or something for it. I don't remember.
Were they a time oracle?
They might have been a time oracle, yeah.
Because I think that is a thing that happens with them is
they just kept cranking the clock until they exploded.
Yeah, like Cosmos Oracle, you become enfeebled and you take penalties to forced movement, but you don't get any of the physical resistance that you got for kind of basically turning into like a weird star being.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's just, it feels weird. You also get like a free feat at level 1 now. That's that's cool. I mean, I don't think you can even pick any other feats. There's just like those 4 feats. It's like depending on your mysteries, you.
See, that makes more sense though, because if that's a mystery feat, then that should be the benefit of your curse, right? Like that should be the part that's missing.
Not really, because all the so different mysteries share the same like first level feat. So the Bones Oracle and Life Oracle share nudge the scales.
Oh, weird.
Which I think gives you a bit more healing if you use it, but when you use it, immediately ups your curse.
Right. And that I think that's normal. I think that should be fine.
Yeah.
His nose is too long, his mouth is too low.
Head is too tall. Kidding.
Is the head too tall? The eyes might be too low. That could be the problem. No.
It looks like they have like a alien head prosthetic a little bit.
Well, they have a helmet on, but I think it really is the nose and the mouth.
Ah.
The eyes could probably be a little higher.
Helmet.
You thought I just gave them weird?
Big head, yes.
Yeah, okay. So the ears and the eyes should be on the same plane, and these eyes are too low. That is the other thing that's going on.
Is you're drawing a mosquito man? Or a wasp?
The Waspy Man of Appalachia. I saw a thing last night that wasn't JD Vance getting dunked on by Appalachia, which was great. There's someone on Instagram that is making what the hell is it called? Like cryptid beastries. And I love the way he has them set up, and it makes me want to write a beastry again. Oh my god, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now.
Go get you a snack.
Yeah, I should have had breakfast before I started streaming. But it was really more of like a lore dump than like a normal beastry. So it was just like block of text, cool picture, great background, done. And I was just like, yeah, that's a great single page beastry. I like that a lot. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, I should just be doing that with everything I make if I'm doing monsters. And essentially have like a 5e version and a Pathfinder version. And just swap out the text, right? Like here's the actions they can do, here's the things they can do, be done with it. And so I thought that would be kind of fun. And if you wanted to help me with that, I feel like you would be good at just kind of writing out the stuff.
Yeah.
So that could be a fun way we could collaborate on that. And just start making... Like that could be YouTube shorts. And we can see what happens. How y'all doing today? Ernst, I'm doing pretty well. How are you? Mid-roll ads just screwed up my feed so bad, and I get support you directly. Don't think it's full of character for it. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Thank you. Again, I appreciate it. I will draw the salamander here in a minute. I just gotta figure out the weird drow bondage gear that they wear.
That poor salamander.
Yeah, sorry, no, this character, the salamander.
Just what you said, I was like,
I understand the context. Dun, 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 dun. Don't king shame the salamander? Yeah, that's fair.
Don't know you.
Da, 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 da. I would pre-order the Beast Read. Kickstart it. There we go. Rook's Book of Weird Shit.
Also, when you were talking about the Oracle stuff that like you would turn into like a weird like elemental thing, they basically have that as a creature now in 2E.
The life? Like a life elemental?
Yes.
Nice. I mean, that makes sense since they have all the different planes and elemental stuff.
Yep. So it's called a glimmeral.
Okay.
And yeah, they're just creatures from the positive energy plane, which is now referred to as like Creation's Forge.
Yep.
And like it's just
undead don't go there. You melt.
Yep. It has an ability called Overpowering Healing.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, it's radiation.
Unlimited power. Just like go to town on it. Do 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 do.
But also, going back to not oracles, but still the remastered stuff. Barbarians are eating well. They're no longer clumsy while they're raging.
That's good, I guess. That's weird that they were clumsy.
And you can rage as a free action. Yeah, it's poor Rookzer just has like clumsy 3 every time they rage.
Which doesn't make sense because they should have like clumsy hurts your athletics checks, right? Like, or is it just acrobatics?
Yes.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
Hang on.
Oh, I see you're good at grappling. What if we made you worse? Like, no?
Yeah. But also part of it was yeah, so it's dex-based checks.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's not as bad.
Which also lowers your AC.
Which actually I am okay with that. I was not super bummed about that then. They don't auto-fail reflex saves, but...
No.
That's the weird thing about second edition.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the weird thing about second edition is just like they have so many new kind of terminology and functions that it gets a little confusing. It's hard to keep
especially now since people who finally started getting comfortable with second edition are now have to like relearn new stuff with the remaster stuff,
which I think is still a good thing. Like, I mean, you're right. That's the unwanted effect of it, but I think a lot of the remastered is coming from the community being like, the fuck. So
yeah.
Paizo, why you do these things?
Yeah, like barbarians no longer need to use an action to rage; it's a free action.
Nice.
They could also just roll for initiative. Like when they roll for initiative, they can rage as one of their feats.
That's great. I like that.
Yeah,
Hurrah!
So apparently, they've completely removed elemental dragons.
That was actually So
no more. There's no more like red dragons or green dragons, metallics, chromatics. They're gone completely.
Because like the whole metallic dragon thing versus chromatic dragon was kind of a D&D thing, right? Like,
yeah.
And so now they're either elemental planar dragons or just beasts, I believe. Like, kind of the drakes and like wyverns and stuff that are not intelligent.
So they're now separated up into magical traditions.
Okay.
So you have arcane dragons, occult dragons, primal, and divine dragons. And then you have the the other category of primal dragons, which are like your
Thank you, Jarwin.
brine dragons, cloud dragons, magma, and umbral.
Brine dragons is just silly to me. Which, I mean, it's
Yep.
just a salt dragon, right?
Yeah,
sea
we're
dragon.
just sea dragons.
Okay.
They have like a weird salt acid breath.
Yeah.
So those are still technically like in Pathfinder because they were Pathfinder specific, as well as the Imperial dragons, which are the Asian style dragons.
Gotcha.
But like now with the Draconic Barbarian, you don't get any of the energy types that you would normally have. You would pick either Force, Spirit, Fire, or Mental.
Interesting.
No, and those are like the elements that you can, or energy types that you can pick for your dragon-based abilities.
Cool. But I
Though,
want to be a
RG
brass
could probably talk
dragon.
to your GM and say, "Hey, I still really want to like my old dragon. Can I still keep it?"
Yeah. There's no reason you couldn't. It doesn't really matter, but they just legally have to distinguish it. The lawyers tell me one thing, but yeah, let's do that.
The players can do whatever the hell they want.
Yep.
Yeah, it's and apparently there were some weird rules with barbarians that people kind of ignored, mainly because of the bad wording of Paizo.
Interesting.
So, the giant barbarian, they only got their rage damage when they used their oversized weapon. You just couldn't you wouldn't get it with any other weapon, but it had to be the oversized giant weapon that you were using.
People probably just took that so they could punch with superpowers.
Yeah.
I could see people doing that. There was a thing in World of Warcraft for a while. The Titan Mauler build for Warrior let you use two-handed weapons. And the downside to that was when you were wielding two-handed weapons, your attacks were slowed down by like 150% or something. So like damage-wise, it balanced out, right? You're doing a lot fewer really heavy hits. But people discovered that if you took that class and you got the button press that does like 400% damage, but then you used one-handed weapons, you hit so much more often that it would reproc this effect, and then you could click it more. And so it's like the best build in the game for a little while was taking the two-handed weapons build and using one-handed weapons. And a lot of them were like fist weapons and daggers. And it's like, this is stupid. You guys fucked up. It's people will always find the cheese. Like, there's no way around it. But
yeah,
they fixed that real quick.
It's weird that they decided to buff barbarians as much as they did. It's like they kind of didn't need it.
Yeah, that's what Drew was saying in the chat. Like, it didn't slow Rokar down at all. Like. Which I don't think it was necessarily an issue, but
yeah, it was just weird. It's like I wasn't expecting many changes, but got quite a few. Feats being condensed down, which makes sense. They did a lot of condensing feats for the ancestries, so like. Lizard folks used to have like almost 5 different feats for different unarmed attacks they could do. It's now condensed down to 1.
Yeah, because it was like one of them was a bite, one of them was a tail swipe, one of them was claws. Yeah, so now I assume it's just like you have a natural attack. Does that give you all of them, or does it give you?
You can pick one.
You pick one, okay, and then you can take the feat multiple times.
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense. What happens if I flip this? Does it look super weird? It's a little weird.
But also, I'm super happy that I personally don't think Swashbuckler needed a rework, but I'm glad it got one, and I'm really like all the new feats.
Yeah. One of my friends has been playing one for a while, and I talked to him over the weekend, and I was like, next time we play, just be a bard. You keep taking, like, the first time he took cleric and he played it like a bard, and the next time, because he loves performance, but like he doesn't use any of the functions of performance. He's just like, I'm gonna use a performance for this, and we're like, great. Like, if you were a bard, that would actually do something. Like,
yeah,
I think you should be a bard. So he was playing a swashbuckler that acted like a bard, like not even archetyping into it, just acting like.
I mean, like,
it works. It does work.
Yeah.
But then with the new remaster of Swashbuckler, I'm like, I think he's gonna have a lot more fun as a swashbuckler now. I think maybe I shouldn't have told him to be a bard.
But yeah, there's the one thing. It's not even like a negative. It's just like it's a weird thing that I have like a hard time visualizing for certain enemies.
Sure.
Is they added a new feat called Dirty Tricks.
That's an old one.
Where
isn't
you
it?
basically no. I mean, it's a new general feat that anyone can take.
Okay, I think that might be a Pathfinder 1 trick or thing. But go ahead. Tell me what it does.
So you roll like I guess it's a deception check, or no, it's a thievery check. And you can basically apply clumsy to someone.
Yeah. Okay.
And
especially
I just have a hard time picturing that for like big creatures. Like, how am I going to like pull a dirty trick on like an aboleth or a giant or something? Well, I mean, giant's a little bit easier, but like weird.
You kick it in the nuts. Everything's got nuts.
But yeah, it's just flavor-wise, I have a hard time picturing like doing that stuff for a large or gargantuan creature. And it's like that doesn't necessarily have like a humanoid-ish body.
Yeah, I always like, that's fair. Like, that really should be something that's built into the aberration functionality. Which sometimes it is. Like, sometimes they're immune to effects that are like, doesn't have feet. It's just like, yep.
I don't think you can trip a noose.
Exactly, can't trip a noose. Dirty tricks equals pocket sand. Exactly, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, it's like you're fighting a beholder, and it's like, ha, pocket sand. Like, shit.
I mean, now that would work, but yeah, it's
you do something situational, and Dirty Tricks was a combat maneuver in first edition. Yeah. Ask the DM to give you one round of debuff for something. That's what I thought. Yeah, and because there was Dirty Tricks that I really liked, and Feint. Feint was really fun because you could basically give yourself flanking by doing like a sleight of hand, which was really cool. I had a ninja that did that for a while. Like, I would always use throwing stars, and then as soon as someone got too close to me, it was just like, I slap him in the face and then stab him. It's just like, this is the only thing I had.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is something I'm really surprised I just never use is the feint action, because it's like...
It's good. It's really good.
Just can off guard someone as an action if I succeed.
And like that's kind of what I was getting at the other day when we were talking about this, about like Pathfinder 2nd edition gave everybody an extra action. And so a lot of people see that as, I can attack 3 times, which you can. It's totally fine. But really I think the intent of it is your move action, your setup action, and then your primary action. Because what you should do is you just move into position, reposition, give yourself some kind of buff, whether it's using, like trying to get your panache was what it used to be. Yep. Trying to get your panache, trying to feint so that you have somebody off guard so that you can like sneak attack them. And like with 5e, this works out really well with like the bonus action hide, you know? And then you either do your main attack, your finisher, or your special action attack that you have. But for most people, they just want to swing, and it's like, yeah, because this is a very high damage output thing if you hit with all these. But this is really more how the characters are designed. And so when you run into the thing where it's just like, this is stupid because I can't attack 3 times, it's like, yeah, it's because you're supposed to be doing something. Like, you're supposed to be building up to something. And the investigator does this, right? They're supposed to do this. Because you're supposed to roll to check, and the thaumaturge is the same thing, right? Your setup is a skill check or a lore check, and the problem with that is that most things you're fighting this might be a Kevin the Necromancer problem, are so high that you're never going to succeed in this. And so it makes you fail the second part of it too, because you can't beat this first part. And so it's kind of like really easily shut down by fighting something a little bit too hard. And now I think it's the same problem with the... Sorry, Druid, I just realized I was drawing all over the map there. I'm ready to roll for the sake of chat. I'll have to read it out for me. Sure. So it very much is forcing things to be behind that roll every time can make the game slog a little bit. So I think it's really smart for them to do what they did with the Swashbuckler, making it a lot easier, a lot more opportunities to get back your panache. And go from there. So a 5 is a male Dampier rogue who is proficient with improvised weapons and uses a cinder block to bludgeon people. I can't talk today.
Nice.
So a vampire with a brick is what we're doing.
Yep. But yeah, because now the way it works now is any roll that you make, even if you fail it, you can still get panache.
Yeah.
From it. That only lasts one round, but still.
Yeah,
you're still a round where you can still get off a finisher.
Exactly, because that's the setup, right? Like you're spending your action to do something, to buff your next move, and so with the feint, it was the same thing. It was always a roll, but like normally you wouldn't be doing that unless you're really, really skilled at it. It should be a high chance. It should always be a high chance. If it's not, then your character's not built around that.
They've made them not more roguish, but like when you I'm
gonna move on to the next one. I can't draw this guy anymore.
Whenever you would get a stylish feat, which is like I think every you got another skill increase that level as well.
Yeah.
So you get 2 skill increases, which is kind of crazy.
Well, but like I said, I think that's because of the like I said, it doesn't feel good when all of a sudden you just can't make those rolls. So I think that's a good way to try it. We'll see if it works. Ernst said, DM, I rolled a natural 20 on pocket sand. What happens? You reach in for the pocket sand, but it's like salt. It's just double effective.
Oh.
That pocket sand was full of chili powder for some unknown reason. Diatomaceous earth, yeah. I think we've been fighting ants for the last 2 weeks. The ants just like... I think what happens, and this is a thing that can legit happen, 1 or 2 of my neighbors paid to have their house sprayed, which just like displaces all of the ants. And so I just got inundated with ants. I'm going to go buy some diatomaceous earth later, probably tomorrow, and then just like surround my house with a giant salt circle. See what happens.
Isn't that basically just like crush up seashells?
Yeah, it is. And it murders bugs because they can't touch it because it's too sharp. A lizard with a wizard hat. Not a lizard folk, just a lizard. Oh, and I need to draw the salamander.
I approve.
So we'll draw a salamander and then we'll draw a lizard wizard.
That salamander is familiar for.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Let's just do that. That sounds awesome. A lizard.
Double down.
A lizard with a wizard hat and a lizard. Familiar.
Might be my new favorite creature I just found while I was looking up. I don't even know how you would say it, but
what? Is it like a zebra monk?
has a copy head, so more giraffe than anything.
Okay.
They are undead hunting creatures.
Ah.
They come from the positive energy plane, and sole purpose is to fight skeletons and zombies. And
yeah. I need to make a new character then. I really do think I built the tree with like a base concept in mind, and I think the tree turned into Fineye, and I mean that's why I stopped playing the tree. But like I do love that concept of just like primordial death fighting, like Pharasma type things. Which is like, hi, I'm just here to make sure none of you turn into skeletons. It's like, what? Yeah. Like, that's my only, that's like, so just, you're going to keep us alive? No. No, just going to make sure you don't turn into skeletons. So, yeah, instead of using the pocket sand, you grab like a ramen noodle packet or something. Garlic! Pocket Sand the vampire, but it's all garlic. This looks like a lizard folk. I made a very tiny lizard folk, so I'm going to undo this. Because they asked specifically for... Okay. Gecko. This is how the gecko do. This how the gecko do. Do geckos have weird slashy eyes? They do. Very long. What time is it? 9:20. I really want to talk politics because I'm like, because the world
kind of unprecedented times.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like that's actually kind of what I wanted to talk about. It's just like how weirdly screwed up the world is right now. Not like, let's just go to hell in a handbasket, but just like strange things. Strange things are happening, and I don't know how to deal with it. Don't know how to deal with it myself. So I want to make sure everybody's okay. I want to make sure that people are doing all right.
I've been gritting my teeth in my sleep apparently lately because of all the stuff that keeps piling up.
I when I was working at the restaurant, I was working at the restaurant and I hated it and it was awful. And it was slowly killing me. But I was also drinking like a lot of energy drinks, so that could also be part of it. But those two combinations of things made me grind my teeth. And I went to the dentist, and they're like, you have a bunch of, like, micro fractures in your teeth. And I was like, that's not good. So they gave me, like, a night guard that I wore for, like, a year and a half to prevent myself from grinding my teeth. And it helped. It helped. My jaw stopped hurting. And I don't have micro fractures in my teeth anymore. And it's like, good.
Yeah.
So.
Several of my friends suggested that I get a mouth guard.
Yeah. You can buy cheap ones. That I don't know how comfortable they are. I think I don't know if mine was covered by insurance or not. I think a lot of times they're not, which is kind of stupid. Because if insurance companies really gave a shit about you, they would pay for like all of the preventative maintenance. Like, and a lot of them don't.
Yeah. Freaky times.
I like the tiny lizard folk, but it was also off to a great start. This one's also off to I essentially drew a tiny kobold, so I think it was good, but it wasn't this, and I very much want this, what I'm doing right now, so.
They've been... Oh. Another thing. So kobolds and the new remaster stuff, they're kind of removing a lot of the dragoniness from them.
Interesting.
Like they no longer they don't get a breath weapon.
I assume they're doing the same thing,
or
just putting it in the heritage feats, because that was a
no.
They're removing the dragon breath heritage feat.
Yep, from kobolds. They gave it to the new dragonborn ancestry heritage thing.
No, that sucks. But
so
also,
many of the kobold dragony stuff has been moved to them.
Okay.
And it's very weird.
To be fair, though, like, you could just take those feats.
Oh yeah, because the dragon thing is a versatile heritage, so you can definitely be a like dragonborn kobold and be fine. It's a weird thing that they're doing.
What do you mean?
Because like now it's kobolds no longer are like obsessed with dragons. They kind of gravitate to anything that's super strong and powerful. Generally that means a dragon, but it doesn't have to be a dragon anymore.
I'm so sorry.
So it's just like, what?
Hold on
what are you doing?
I'm gonna tell a joke, an anecdote, that's only gonna be good
Go
for
ahead.
people in. I just looked down at the baby monitor because the child was starting to squirm, and then and as I looked down, I'm like, I should probably go up and check him, but I'll wait for Chorus to finish talking, and then this happened. I looked down and I saw the kid just get grabbed and yanked off the bed. It was really hard for me not to just lose my shit. So yeah, I assume they're probably fine.
Yep. You can also just tell me to shut up. That's perfectly okay. This is your stream.
No, I was just like, I saw the kid getting up, and I was like, okay, I'll wait for Chorus to stop talking, and then I'll go pick him up. And then, wink! I was like, okay, I guess I don't need to deal with that anymore.
Also, this is specifically addressed to Druid. Grippleys, which are being called Trip Keys, received a lot of new feats in the new player core book, as well as the Knolls as well.
Nice.
Which is nice.
I feel like the problem with the Grippleys is that, like, the Gripply and the Grung and the fish people, like, there's so many types of frogs and so many types of fish that those are almost too nondescript. The Grippleys were very much supposed to be poison dart frogs, and it's like, that's great, I love that. But then people wanted, like, bullfrogs, and they wanted other kind of frogs and things. And so, whereas most of the development, what the hell's wrong with me? Most of the development for design, I mix those two words together. For creatures in Pathfinder, is usually a very basic thing, and then you have features that you can swap out, right? Like, so with the cat folk, it's like, what kind of cat do you want to be? With the lizard folk, what kind of lizard do you want to be? But the Gripply were so specifically poison dart frogs that it always felt a little weird. That they were so specific. So I'm kind of okay with them branching out like that. Same thing with the kobolds. It's like, make the kobolds just any tiny lizardy thing, or tiny dog creature, and then have the features change it. Like, that's what I think is really important. So you have boggarts and you have bullfrogs. Exactly. Yeah.
There are sticky pad feats, which are now no longer restricted to a certain heritage of Gripply.
Cool.
So they added, I think, 2 new heritages to them. One is like, you're more toad-like than like a tree frog or poison dart frog.
Okay, I like that.
So you have like more thicker, wartier skin. They had a bunch of jumping feats as well as croaking feats.
Croaking.
You can intimidate with a croak.
Yeah. I've always been a fan of the. It's kind of a meme at this point, but the like taking the feat that lets you have a tongue whip attack, and it's like, why isn't my tongue poisonous? Because if I do any kind of attack with my skin, I have to like lick myself and then whack somebody with my tongue, and it's like, yeah, I'm okay with that. So, like, I've had multiple people do that, and I think it's funny every time. Okay, there's the lizard wizard, who is great.
Yeah, there's also 2 new Knoll heritage, which are now being referred to as Kolos.
Kolos?
Which sounds too close, like to Cholo.
Yeah. Not appropriate.
Yep. But yeah, so there's cave gnolls, where you have dark vision.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are dog gnolls, where you're slightly more bestial, and that you can run on all fours at a faster speed.
Nice. That's cool. I like that.
But you can still like stand up and attack, but like you have like almost like a werewolf gait.
Yeah, there was a creature that was it the gnolls before had, I think it might just be the once you do an attack you can then dash to the next person and bite them. That might be what I'm thinking of.
Maybe.
Is that lizard folk though, or is that might be lizard folk? I don't remember. I like that idea. That you can just kind of like
thing.
You can drop down and like run faster. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Which they kind of took that idea from one of the automaton body types called like the hunter.
Oh, that's terrifying. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, your body is more like shaped like a cat. And so you can get down on all fours and like have a faster running speed. Which is 30 feet, but still. That's more than most ancestries have.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was some neat stuff I saw.
A nobled version? Oh, a kobold. Okay, Elliot, this is supposed to be the familiar. Should I also give him a wizard hat? Maybe he's got a little crown. Crowns are great. How to show something is a fairy without making them a fairy. Give him a crown. I'm the king of my own mushroom. Do you have a mushroom? Just infinitely small kingdoms to disperse. I do like the idea that's something we don't see very often of like familiars being smaller versions of the wizard. That they like, which I guess is kind of maybe a little dark.
And narcissistic?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but yeah, that's the thing. It's just like if you're a wizard,
I guess you could easily make a homunculus like a small version of yourself.
Yeah, like not like a human with a child as a familiar, but like a human with a just like you got the wizard with the pointy hat, and then you got almost like mini me, where it is just like identical to them, except maybe it has like a fairy mustache or ears or something. It's just like, what the hell is that? Oh, it's my familiar. His name's Doug. Yeah, like Dr. Evil's mini me. That's kind of what I was thinking about, but like almost smaller. Just like action figure sized version of yourself. Go Douglas. Which I think the homunculus would be a good starting point for that. There we go. We done did it. Can I export just this layer? Is that a thing?
Maybe.
I can layer images. No, you can't. Ah, funny. They made that part of the... whatever. It's fine. Oh, okay. I've seen that. That is cool.
Yeah.
Just be a straight up Warforged animal. That's kind of neat. I thought it was like a... I thought it was more... I'm trying to think of what the hell it was.
Then go into bear mode and start swiping at people.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was like you were a person and then you can just reconfigure yourself to run mode, which is pretty awesome.
Mm.
Did you want to go to the Rumpelstiltskin version? Yeah. Oh, my familiar died. Gotta find another child. It's like, wait, what?
Oh, nope.
Fairies are fucked up, man.
You're just now a hag.
Yeah, exactly. I was at the wedding. I went to a wedding this last weekend. That's where I was on Friday. And I set down the kid next to the table, but we're like in my friend's backyard for the wedding. And I set him down on like a tree stump, and I went and got my drink, and I came back. So I was never more than like 40 feet from him, and I could see him. But I came back, and one of my friends like, I don't know what you were thinking. He's obviously a doppelganger now. Like, you can't just leave your kids in the forest. And I was like, shit, you're right. It's like you're raising a tiny fey creature now.
No. It's a 2-action. It's called Rapid Sprint.
Okay.
And you can run on all fours and stride 3 times.
Oh boy.
2 actions.
That's pretty awesome.
It's like, and that's like 90 feet.
Yeah.
If you don't have any other boost to your speed. That's crazy. There's also another one called Absorb Strength. And it's a 1 action once per hour. You consume a piece of your enemy, absorbing their strength, gaining temporary hit points equal to the enemy's level.
What's the gorillas from Princess Mononoke always terrified me. Because they're like,
oh god,
look, give us the human. We want to eat them and become them. And it's like, that's not how anything works. Don't do that.
Oh, that I never thought of it, but yeah, that is super like common in Japanese like yokai stories.
Yeah. Eat them and absorb.
Especially with animals, like with foxes or not kitsune, but tanuki. Like, if they eat enough humans, specifically livers, they will become a human.
Nice.
Because humans are the epitome of enlightenment.
Makes sense. I find nothing wrong with your problem. All right, I rolled a 2. The Galati Promethean. The Galati Promethean that looks like an Edo period geisha with the refinement of gold from the Promethean the Created. I think this is the
Alien prequel stuff?
No. This is a Vampire the Masquerade. It's one of those.
Ooh.
I don't know what we're supposed to call it. Is that the World of Darkness? Is that what we call that series?
Yeah, it's the World of Darkness setting.
It's the Blanked, right? It's from the Blank games. And
yes. White Wolf games.
I think Prometheans are they robots? I think they're robots. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, or like golem people or something.
Yeah.
Promethean the Created?
Yeah. Or are they Frankenstein monsters? They might be Frankenstein monsters.
Heavily inspired by Frankenstein and golem myths.
Yep.
So,
okay.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. I forgot what the prompt was. Oh, geisha. Zombie geisha. We can do that. With some gold stuff in them.
Goleta. Created from most beautiful parts around, animated via Breath of Life. Oh, its names are Galatit. Okay, I get the reference now.
Grahatea, the Catman from Final Fantasy.
No, Galatea was a statue made of ivory brought to life by Pygmalion.
Oh.
Because Pygmalion did not like touching humans because he was on autism. Probably. And so he had Aphrodite just create him a perfect woman. But then she talked too much.
That's too easy.
That's
too easy. That's not a good joke. That's just like that was just a setup for hot garbage.
Yep.
Oh man. Okay.
Ooh, jeez. Level 17 feat for gnolls now, called Legendary Laugh. You can demoralize creatures up to 60 feet away, and additionally, when you successfully demoralize a creature, that creature takes 3d8 mental damage, or 6d8 mental damage if it was a crit success.
Wow.
I was like, that's pretty awesome.
I want like a geisha mask. Oh my god. That one's great.
Like the geishas from the really bad Ghost in the Shell movie.
It wasn't bad, it just wasn't a good Ghost in the Shell movie.
Only the still images of the movie look good.
Yeah. The movie itself wasn't terrible. It was just like it was very predictable, which is not what
Ghost in the
Ghost in the Shell is about. Yeah. So it was honestly that felt way more like a cyberpunk film than they definitely they tried to take elements from the anime, which was cool, like the geisha attack and a handful of different things, but like they didn't really get the vibe of. They made the Major too human, like, and that's kind of not the point of the show. They really tried to like retain her humanity, and the whole point of the Major is that she is so. She's kind of lost her humanity and is trying to understand it because she never really had it because she lost her body when she was so young. So, inspired by Ghost in the Shell, yeah. So I don't think the story they chose to tell was really did it any favors. But I think it was still an okay movie. It just wasn't really a great Ghost in the Shell movie. Especially, I think the other part of that is like when they try to make a movie by copying the anime. It's like you don't need to do that because the anime exists, and the anime is going to do it better because it's a longer format. So if you want to redo an anime, you really need to do like a TV show, or take something core from from the anime and expand upon it. And they tried that by like, hey, we'll take the first episode here, and then we'll write our own story with it. It's like, okay, cool idea, but you changed the story. You fundamentally changed the story. That was, I think they're failing. Not a good Ghost in the Shell story.
Take a story that the anime hasn't touched on, like maybe from the manga, and then adapt it to a live action.
Yeah, like they could have really expanded on Bato, I think, which would have been really cool. Because Bato's a cool character, but like you don't get. It follows the Major, right? Ghost in the Shell follows the Major, and you get like little clips of Bato's story, but we never really get to see it because he's not important. So like you could pick a character like that, and in the newest Ghost in the Shell series, they add a new character, and then she becomes like the what's it called? not the silent narrative, the uninitiated person that kind of explains the world to you, right? Like, Agent Paper getting her own movie. Agent Paper? Who's Agent Paper?
I will say though, you were talking about Botto. He does get a sequel movie basically to himself.
Really? Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's made by the same guy who did the first Ghost in the Shell movie.
Oh, cool. I'll have to watch that.
And it's like, it follows him and Tokasai, which is basically the only human who has just like
he was the
implants.
he was the what the hell is that called? What is that? There's a narrative device where you introduce a new character and the audience surrogate.
It's like our it's like our point of view. Yeah. Like they serve as our point of view, or
people wouldn't.
They're very much meant to be us in the story.
Right. So he was the first one in Standalone Complex. Which I feel like in the movie, the Ghost in the Shell movie, they made it the major, which once again, like, doesn't make sense. So, it was such bad. I don't want to say it's a bad movie. It just wasn't a good Ghost in the Shell movie. I want to leave it at that, because they did so much cool stuff, so many good like prosthetics and interesting like visual choices.
Audience proxy?
Yeah, that could be. That could be it. I tried to make this a round mask, and I'm realizing no, that's not what geisha masks are about.
But yeah, you can't really beat that opening sequence of the first Ghost in the Shell movie. It's iconic.
I mean, it was kind of the opening sequence for the anime, and it's so good. So, like, it's a great scene. I think the anime did it better.
Do they have the whole like building of the body scene in the anime?
That's the title credits.
For me, the title credits was always like the weird like 90s 3D animated thing.
Oh no, that's because it's got weird anime nudity in it. So when they aired it in America, I think it's a different it's a different thing. Or maybe maybe not. Maybe they did that for the new one. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe the new one does the Westworld shenanigans. Just like slowly building someone from nothing. Read or Die is a popular anime. They did an OVA with a completely different character in the same universe, Agent Paper. Oh, interesting. I'm struggling with faces today. I really like this shape I have for... Maybe I'll change the perspective. Maybe I'll have her looking at the camera.
Break that for fall.
Fluff, 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 fluff.
This is the one I'm most familiar with, like from the anime.
Oh yeah. No, hold on. Let me look.
And this is the one from the first movie, which
that's the
I
one
think
I was
came out
thinking
before
about.
the anime.
Yeah, that came out in 1995. That's the one I was thinking of. Super good. But that is the one I was thinking of. So that's from the movie.
Okay. Oh, Monk Remaster video come out.
Oh, damn.
The Monk didn't get many new remaster stuff.
It's just
Probably
nothing.
just new feats.
Probably.
Yeah, they said they were happy how the Monk was, and this, at most, probably language change and like condensing of possibly some feats and maybe even some new ones.
Okay.
Because I know they get a new level 20 feat called God Killer.
God Killer.
Or something along that one. Where you kick someone up in the air, like 6 feet in the air, jump up after them, and like as they're going up, you like strike, kick them higher, strike, kick them higher, strike.
Oh, it's the Super Smash Brothers. What's like juggling?
Or
God juggling?
Or any other big anime move that you see, because everyone's like, oh, it's like this from this anime. It's like Rock Lee from Naruto. And I was like, it's all of them.
I love it when Superman does that shit. Like, they did a pretty good job of it with Invincible too. Like the moment where Superman gets to unleash and just like, oh yeah, he's unbelievably strong and terrifying, and I love it. Because like in Dragon Ball Z, there's a lot of like someone standing here and then someone just like instantly teleports in and then punches this guy away. Good job, kiddo. He's figuring out how to use his toys. And then they just disappear, right? It's just like zip, 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 zip. That's cool. But like with the Superman thing, it's like Superman jumps up, punches a guy, guy goes flying, Superman catches up to them and keeps punching. And just like with Dragon Ball Z, it's a lot of like switch frames of back and forth, which is like lots of zippy arms. But I like it when you actually get to see the impacts of the punches and like, oh yeah, I punched that guy through a building or into a mountain. It's like, hell yeah, that's great. And I think Invincible did a really good job of that. Superman's done a good job of that a few times. And DBZ does a good job of that. I like it. Just unnecessary force. Your description sounds very specifically Rock Lee to me. Bleach did a good job of that too, yeah. There's a move in Super Smash Brothers that I think is famous for Fox. And what you do is you punch somebody so it staggers them, and then you grab them, and then you kick them into the air, and then you jump and you kick them into the air again, and they die. Because Fox moves faster than people get thrown, and it's stupid. Because all of the characters in Smash have global speed, which is a little weird. So like certain characters fall faster than other characters, and some characters are like really floaty, which is interesting. It's an interesting thing that is kind of unique to those. Each character is not bound to the physics of the world the same way, which adds a cool dynamic to the game.
I have the feat in front of me now. Okay. It's called not God Killer, but God Breaker. 3 actions. Requires prerequisite feats: a crushing grab and whirling throw. And requirements for you to do this: the creature has to be grabbed or restrained.
Okay.
So you hurl the creature up 20 feet, falling behind it with a powerful jump. You make a unarmed strike. If the strike is successful, you repeat this process 2 more times, each time the creature is moved up 20 feet into the air.
So what you want to do is, if you have to climb up a building, is you just grab the barbarian, and the barbarian just takes it. So you auto-succeed on the grabs, and then you just kick the barbarian up, then jump off the barbarian, but flip him with you, and then do that again. And then the monk can scale 90-foot walls. And the barbarian falls and takes half damage, and it's fine. I have to make this a YouTube short now. We're going to call it the Barbarian Ladder.
Though I feel like barbarians could probably do it by themselves, by just like
punching themselves and grappling themselves.
Yep. And if all 3 strikes are successful, you Wait, hang on, sorry. Uh,
Better fall.
if you miss any of the strikes, the Godbreaker and the grabbed or restrained condition immediately ends, and both you and your opponent fall, taking falling damage as normal
Okay.
for the total height you jumped. If all 3 strikes are successful, you immediately grab the creature and bring it into a crashing into the ground, dealing your unarmed strike damage plus falling damage to it.
So it is the grab and then the spiral down into the ground. That's pretty great.
Yep. And
Pa-pa-pa-coo.
if it's still critical, or if they were all successful, you immediately grab the creature again.
Nice.
So you could like do it again if it's still alive.
You do it so fast that you grab them and throw them into themselves. 2 people in the stream. Is this your friend? Corvus is one of my mods. I would say Corvus is my friend as well, but like, yeah.
Yes.
Corvus and Druid are both co-streamers with me here. Druid is drawing, but Druid is muted today. Corvus is our lore librarian. I don't remember what we were calling you.
I think lore librarian. Those are just a person who generically keeps up with every bit of tabletop news.
Yeah, I can't be bothered.
At least when it pertains to Pathfinder and D&D.
Pathfinder news associate.
Yeah, Pathfinder, pay me.
I would pay you, but I need more money.
Yep, that's fine.
When I get paid, well, you'll get paid. If you'd like to help support Corvus in his ability to talk to us by buying a new microphone, please feel free to send money. Send help.
Yep.
Stop it. Get help. You alright, kiddo? The child is able to spin and flip over one way now. So I'm very proud.
Nice.
But he will do one of those 2 things and then be upset because he has done those 2 things. Like, he's got all his toys, like this. They hang on a mobile. And he'll rotate until he can't reach them. And then he's just like, this is bullshit. What's going on? Where did my toys go? And it's like, well, you spun. You spun away. He's not yet figured out.
Me right round.
He's not yet figured out how to flip back after he rolls himself over. So we're working on that. I just realized this is a kind of a weird build. Geishas are not one for showing off their body. And so when you want to try to show that someone is a weird zombie creation, the geisha might not be the best design option for that.
Might be maybe the point for some people.
Right, but from a design aspect, like that's rough.
Yeah.
Show me a thing but without showing it to me. It's like that's defeats the purpose. Why am I drawing this? So I might do something a little more. Actually, I really liked that part. I think we're gonna keep this side. Oh really? I can't undo? What can I undo? Edit undo is not an option anymore? What? Druid, is this true? Did they remove the undo function from this? I've been undoing. Okay, I'm gonna refresh then. What just happened?
Druid said they can control Z.
I think Aggie froze. I think Aggie froze on me.
Oh.
Because I was mashing Control Z and nothing was happening. I'm like, I'll go edit, undo, and it's not up there. And I was like, what? It's because there's arrows. I should have clicked the arrows. But,
Also, I feel like there are some feats that, for the gnolls now, that Fine I should have.
Okay.
And there's a level 1 called Ask the Bones. where you roll the bones of one of your friends or ancestors for a skill check to get a +1.
That's kind of funny. I could do that instead of the cards. I'm gonna have to look at him because he still has like the time oracle dedication, and that means everything's gonna change. So I might have to rebuild him.
Yeah, Time Oracle did not get brought over because it's from the Dark Archive.
Time Oracle is kind of garbage anyway, so like I don't use the functionality of it very often. I just basically have the really I'm just using the focus spells to give myself paladin powers, which I think is going to exist anyways. So Finite's probably going to get a rework next time we play. But, well, I mean, the
just
stuff
pure champion.
Yep.
Also, have any of us ever used like the scout action or void notice thing?
No, there's something I was looking at the other day with that, and it's just that like we basically skip a lot of the search and travel functionality of the game, just because of the way we're playing it. So I don't know if it's necessarily something that we definitely don't have characters built for it.
Yeah, because like the gnolls kind of have stuff about it. Like level 9, they have a feat called Ambush Hunter, where you can perform the scout activity at the same time as the avoid notice activity.
Interesting.
So apparently the scout action gives you +1 circumstance bonus on initiative rolls.
Okay.
Which is interesting.
I've made this a very angry geisha. Oh, because I did the lips wrong. Roo, 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 roo. Kid, you were going to kill yourself. Hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
Hold on a second. How's that? Better? Click-click-clack. Yeah, just spinning and knocking the thing over on himself. Oh, falling over. Da, 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 da.
Another cool new feat. At 17th level, gnolls can take Impaling Bone.
Just that's not something
you gain once per day. You can cast Impaling Strike at 7th rank.
Okay.
As an innate spell. Except the strike is not made of cold iron, but instead made of bone. And the bone has ghost touched on it, so you can use it to immobilize incorporeal creatures if they were corporeal.
That's a little weird. Why? Why though? I guess the bone, maybe it's a sacred bone. Like I don't.
Yeah, so they've been kind of like upping up like gnoll spirituality. So like there's a lot of like they talk about bone keepers, which are like I guess you could say like their version of shamans.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I do like the like undead bone cleric idea for a like a cleric of Inogu or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So you basically just now summon a big giant bone spike out of the ground to impale a ghost.
Yeah,
keep it in place.
That's a Diablo 2 spell. What the hell is it called?
I should have explained it like that because it may have came across easier.
I'm struggling so hard with faces today.
engagers are all about that face.
Mm-hmm. Someone is burning coffee in the kitchen. What time is it? 10 o'clock? We're doing all right. Probably do one or two more here. I think we got time. Let me know if people on YouTube are hearing background noise. I mean, I know there's a kid making a lot of noise. Can't really stop that. But
I hear plates.
You hear plates? Okay.
Shoveling around. But that may just be me. I don't know if that's coming out on YouTube.
I'll be right back. 1 second. Okay. Da, da, da. Potentially super tangential, but are y'all Monster Hunter fans? I've not played much Monster Hunter. I played Monster Hunter World a little bit, and I played I played one for the GameCube. So I like the concept of Monster Hunter, but I'm a big multiplayer game player, and the multiplayer on Monster Hunter has not ever been super great. So Rise? Did I play Rise? I don't know if I played World or Rise. I played one of the two.
Maybe.
So this is important because I'm about to go on a tangent. Hang on. Okay, if it's long and drawn out, I probably won't read it to the chat, just as a heads up, but you're welcome to post it. I am excited. I think gnolls need a little more love than they normally get, because they get like super fetishized and not actually like focused on as characters. And a big part of that, I think, is from the whole like Yanogu monster eating thing that was 5e. There's a lot of people like, no, I'm gonna play a nice, kind kobold because they're why friend shaped, not friend. When really it's like I think they could have a lot more potential of being these like undead creatures, undead kind of focused creatures, which I really like the what the hell are they called? Flins? Gnolls die and become skeletal gnolls, and that's what they want, and I love that. Trying to learn all the D&D slang. Best of luck. What if I made an insert Monster Hunter creature here? I mean, you can do that. Like, the weird thing with Monster Hunter is everything is Corvus, you're muted, by the way, if you're not muted. So it just has, I don't know if you left or not. Sorry, I got distracted. The thing with Monster Hunter is that all the big creatures, like as big as they are designed specifically to make armor. So like essentially in D&D, it would be the equivalent of like, look, there's a giant T-Rex monster here with a battle axe on its tail. Right? Like, so really if you want to make Monster Hunter things work for D&D, you definitely can, and Pathfinder has a pretty good one that Corvus tried playing. But what you're missing is this component, is what you're going to make out of the monsters. So you either have to have a build that can potentially turn D&D creatures into parts, or you need to create monsters with that in mind to begin with. So, or you need to create a system for taking the Monster Hunter monsters that exist and then crafting the items into D&D items. So both of those work really well, and it's really fun. And it's just a different kind of play style because you're focusing more on like a crafting system that doesn't exist in 5e than anything else. So. Up, up, up. That bird, you kid. Apparently they work better as bosses over PCs. Yeah, you could do that. Like, you wouldn't want to do one of the weird, I can't remember what they're called. Like the flappy T-Rex birds as a PC. Because one, they're huge, and two, they're just big and dumb. You could do it. Like, you could absolutely do it. I played a polar bear. It was really fun. Oh, no. But it's more of a thing of just, like, what game are you playing? What campaign are you running? Does that work? But you can definitely do it. Halfway between a Tabaxi and an Aarakocra flavor-wise. Size it down, take your pick. I mean, Radion, it sounds like you're just trying to create your own custom race, which you can do 100%. Yeah, the thing you need to look at is, like, you can look at 3.5, you can look at Pathfinder. They have, like, race points and building functionality, so you can do that kind of stuff. But if you take a Tabaxi, like, what are you taking from the Tabaxi? What are you taking from the Aarakocra? Because a lot of times those things are not or they are interchangeable. Like, you have to choose. Like, I want wings. That takes more points than, say, like, I want a claw attack. So, do you want a claw attack and the wings? Because, like, the Aarakocra can have that, but then you're giving up something that the Aarakocra would normally have. So you can build your own races, and if you like something about those creatures, that's great. But, yeah, you just gotta look at it. Okay. I know it looks a lot more into anime, but it is. Has anyone considered the whole isekai idea? I mean, most D&D games are isekais. My friend did a Kevin the Necromancer played an isekai version of himself, which was really funny. He's like, I want to be pulled into this world as I think he was an artificer, but his whole concept was he got pulled into the world of D&D and he realized it was a game, and so he could like basically metagame a little bit, and that was kind of fun because he like, yeah. we'd let him like pull up little screens and like check the stats of creatures because we thought it was funny. That was a lot of fun. Totally doable. But you can also do the same thing of just like pulling a creature through a plane. Like, right, if you're a denizen of the fire plane and all of a sudden you're on the normal material plane, that's an isekai as well. So I should look into that. The older editions have a character race builder. That's neat. Yeah, there's even there's a 3.5 book that I love. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I think it might just be the Monster Codex. And it just talks about all about how to build characters. So, monsters, creatures, playable races. Yeah. Anything's possible if your team is prepared on the board. Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm getting at, Miradon. Is like a lot of the times when people start looking at stuff like that, they see like trying to think of a good example. This monster has a bite attack, can swallow people whole, and wings. I want that to be my character because then I get all of those things. And it's like, that's broken. That's broken. And that's broken because to have all those things, you would need to be level 15. Right? There are monster feats that exist that a lot of monsters have instead of player classes. Most monsters are taking levels in monster levels, whether they're beasts or I don't know, like a goblin shaman. Like some of them get monster feats to have more health. Some of them get monster feats to make their bites better. They have constrict damage and stuff like that. So you have to look at that. You can't just say I'm gonna be this undead creature from the book that's a CR 15, but I'm gonna start at level 1 because at a CR 15, this is probably a level 18 creature. You don't get free 18 levels and then start putting class levels on top of that. If you want to be a polar bear, you probably start at level 3 or 4. You can take 3 or 4 levels in polar bear, and then your first level in rogue, right? Like that's how you have to look at it. So when you're building a race, you have to make sure you're not giving them class levels or monster levels when you're building the race. That being said, like things like the Aarakocra, like I said, you can start with I want them to have wings, but that's just going to determine how tough they are here. Maybe they aren't great at flying until level 5. That's one way to balance it, right? I'm going to give them a whole bunch of front-loaded, really powerful stuff, but I can't functionally use it till later in the game. You can take levels in monsters. You can. There are... I don't know if they're written out in 5e at all anywhere, but look up monster feats. I think it's going to be in 3.5 again. They are still there in the game as like a template, because what it is like every odd level or so, they get in monster levels, you gain like bonus to constitution, strength, dexterity, and what was the other thing? And like an up in damage die or things like that. So that's why, like, if you have a bear that's level 2, like a CR2, they have a con of 4 or 14, I think. And then if you have a bear that's level like CR4 or 5, they have a con of 16. Like, you can see that really what happened there is because they went up 2 more levels, they gained 2 more points in Constitution. Like, if there's a formula for it, they just don't have it written out very well in 5e. I'm sure someone has written out on the internet. You just have to search for it. But there is a formula. There's a template to do that. And you can also do that to like scale up and down monsters, because you can just be like, oh, this is too high. I want to drop it down. What did they get at level 12 to make that I can get rid of to make them a level 10? And if you look at it enough, you'll kind of start getting the feel for it. All right, I think I don't know what else to do with this character. Oh, they're supposed to have like gold. Let's do that. We'll do that, and then we'll call this one good. Welcome back, Corvus.
Hello?
Yep.
Okay. I was trying to talk, but apparently Mike was still freaking out.
Sorry.
The only time I ever wanted something from a monster was with my Tengu Gunslinger.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a NPC enemy who is also a Tengu Gunslinger who has this thing called Quick Spiker. We were both of my character and this one were using a spike launcher. But for me, a spike launcher requires 2 actions to reload and another action to shift my grip to give it fatal. And just like, I would just like have that be 1 action, please. And it's 1 action for this creature.
That's funny. They must have a feat for it or something.
There's no feat for it. Like, there's no way of reducing your loading.
It's just a custom feat. Wait, yeah, there is. You can do quick reload.
Doesn't work for firearms that require 2 actions.
Yeah, interesting.
You can start it, and then you have to use another action to finish it, but you're still just using 2 actions.
Huh. I'll have to look into that, because like with the that either breaks my kobold or not, because the kobold gunslinger I was using has the shotgun, and there was a feature I thought to reload a 2-handed weapon as 1 action, but that might be the risky reload, so you have to make a roll for it. That could be what it is.
You can still, most of the guns are just a single action reload. It just so happens that the one I wanted from Tizen,
it's a fundamental difference of that specific gun.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And just like, there's no feats, there's no way of making it agile or whatever to reduce it. It's just,
we did this for my friend's swashbuckling bard. We gave him a battle loot, and the problem with the battle loot is that it's not a finesse weapon, so it doesn't work for any of the swashbuckling stuff. We gave it the agile feat because you can do that in Foundry. It did not break the game. Like, it's totally fine. So I would be fine. Like, if that fundamentally makes your character work, like, I would be fine doing that kind of stuff.
Like I don't even want like it's this character's special like reaction where you can like reaction shoot someone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I could just multi-class into bar or not bar, but ranger for that if I really wanted that. But it's like it was not fun having to use 2 actions to reload my gun.
Right. Right. Especially if that's your functionality of it.
Yeah.
But I've also so this is the fundamental problem with the 3-point system, is that there is the potential for so much crap. People's turns can take forever, but I kind of miss this is my like refractory turn. So this turn I'm going to reload my gun, move, and that's it. And that's my turn. Pass. Right? That makes the game go faster, but not if you're the only one that has those turns, because that sucks. Like, that makes the game really bad when you wait for 10 minutes and then you're like, reload, pass the turn. And it's just like, ugh. Like, so I definitely feel that. I definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Because it's not fun, because like Druid made a special mission where I could go hunt a manicord to make this gun, and it's just like, and I didn't realize
this gun
until
sucks.
I had it in my hand that it requires 2 actions to reload.
Yeah, and that's one of those situations where I was like, I would just forgo that. Be like, no, I don't think this gun needs that. Especially for your build. Like, if a normal person was using this gun, but for some reason, if the NPC doesn't have to do it, then that means there's something inherently different about a gunslinger using it, or a beast gunner using it, versus like a barbarian picking it up and just like blah 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 blah. So I would change that. I rolled a 2, which is a gnome with a big hat and a beard on a minecart. Weirdly specific, but okay, we're gonna do it. Yeah, I'm a big fan of just like, fuck it, fuck it, make it work, right? Like, it's not worth trying to do everything rules as written. Drew, did you still draw the Cinderblock guy? Yep. Okay, I had to zoom out.
Yeah, it's a feature that this NPC enemy has called Quick Spiker, and it's all it literally does.
One custom feature, huh?
Yep. It's like this character gets to use 1 action instead of 2 actions to reload their spike launcher, and he can change his grip on the spike launcher easily improving it from a fatal aim to just fatal. Fatal. Yeah.
Here's what I would do. If that's the gun your character wants to use, I would take that as a custom feat. Right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe not for the first level, or you could do it in lieu of another, like a general feat. It's like, instead of a general feat this round, I want that feat. I want to practice with this gun until I have it. And it's like, cool. I think that's super viable. I'm ready to roll. What dice should I use? D10, I believe. No, D12 or a... You could roll a D20, but we have 14 left. So there's a little bit of a we're in an overlap right now. We're not an overlap, but like we're at a nexus.
Well, they're a level 10 creature with only 175 hit points. That's probably what? Maybe a level 12 creature? Or like a level 12 character?
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Because I was just trying to figure, when I first saw this character, like, is this character more or less a gunslinger, or are they supposed to be like a ranger? Because I could see maybe rangers getting something about that, or even gunslingers, but it's just like, it was just sad that I didn't realize it until I literally had it in my hand that required 2 actions. Like,
yeah, it looks like it's because the beast gunner is essentially a spell shot. Like, you're shooting spells, which is kind of interesting.
Yep. Which, even then, you're using 2 actions basically to fire your gun at that point.
Right. Yeah, you're using 2 actions because it's equivalent of a spell. Which is most of them are.
Which I'm okay with.
Yeah. So delaying your level 2 character doesn't feel good. Yep. Focusing on non-spell shot, spell slinging actions. Both archetypes provide the features you do, but don't overly focus on the spell shot feature. Don't get the spell casting feat and the focus on the trick magic. Instead, what's happening? I thought my phone was.
Which they did like pseudo rework Beast Gunner and with the spell shot stuff, spell shot gunslinger, where at least spell shot now you get wizard feats.
Gotcha.
So you just get more spells now.
Yeah. This one's saying that basically, yeah, you should either go ranger, or champion, and then just stop worrying about the spells and use their spells instead. So basically, get access to the guns and then run it through a different character sheet or a different class. But yeah, I would look at that. Beast guns equipment, spike launcher, evocation. Weird.
Yeah, because it has a special ability where you can fire out a volley and pin people to the floor.
There's a tentacle cannon. That's funny.
Yes. That's what Tyson got in trouble for. I was going to make it. And they're like, no.
It has the backstabber, fatal aim, and kickback trait with the range increment of 120 feet and reload 2. You can backstab somebody with this from 120 feet away.
Well, if they're flat-footed, yeah.
That's not hard to do.
No.
Yeah. This is super powerful. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah. I get why, like, when you look at it with all the traits it has, like, it makes sense that they would, like, bounce it out with 2 actions, but it's like, come on, guy.
Oh, this says right. So this might be an Etera or something. The entry indicated how many interact with the reload of the weapon can be 0 if drawing the ammunition and firing the weapon are part of the same action. It can also take 2 or more actions to reload. The GM determines whether they must be performed together or as one activity. So they give you a little flexibility of saying, like, hey, you could do those in one action.
Because, like,
you can
bows have, like, the weird...
It doesn't make sense to reload a bow, right? Like,
yeah. Because you are literally drawing and reloading at the same time. So
this is essentially a tiny ballista, is what it is.
Yep.
It's a tiny ballista.
So, Druid rolled an 8.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading. Kobold Barbarian. That's all it says. It just says Kobold Barbarian. I can't steal an institute research material. Oh, I don't want to bring this back up. You two can argue about it all you want.
Wait, what?
Druid said you're not allowed to steal institute research material, which is what got Tyson in trouble.
Oh. Also, you spelled it wrong.
Tyson or steal? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Was this kobold
Also,
supposed to have a
weirdly
hat?
enough,
I think it was a hat and a beard, right?
I think it said that. Also, you said kobold.
I did say kobold. That was Druid's. Druid had the kobold. I have a gnome.
Yep. Also, another thing about the spike launcher, it uses the bow specialization, so it pins people down to the ground for a round.
Yeah, see, I don't think you should be able to do that as a twice in one round action, which is what you could do if you could reload it as one action. Because you would fire, reload, fire again. It's just like, hold on a minute. Pa-chunk. But
Yeah,
I
and
think,
that's only if I'm critting, though.
Yeah, I think the idea of and this could be just a fundamental, like, you want to have a beast gunner who just specializes with a gun, which would make sense for taking that feat, right? Like, I would want to give you that feat if that was the only thing you wanted to use. But I think the beast gunners are supposed to be like eclectic weapon wielders, and so you would pull that out and use it when you need to pin somebody to the ground, and then immediately switch to a different beast gun, right? I don't think it's supposed to be like this is the only gun I use.
Well, it's kind of flavored that way, though.
Is it? Okay. Because like that's what I feel about the thaumaturge,
at least in like
too.
the text about it.
Okay. Because it always seems really strange to me when they do that kind of thing, when they build it out like your class specializes in making guns out of animal parts only once, and that's the gun you use forever. And it's like, shouldn't I be specialized in making weapons out of like all things all the time? Like, that should be the main focus of my build, I would think. But that's kind of like the same thing that happens with Finny, is like you take the magical crafting feature and it's like you learn how to make 2 items. And it's like, oh, okay. How do I learn more? It's like, buy them. It's like, all right, okay. So it's just the thaumaturge had the same kind of vibe to me as well. It's like, ooh, I want to be a wand thaumaturge where I just like have 1,000 wands. They're like, no. You get to use one wand a lot. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, that's not what I expected, but still kind of cool. So it's definitely, to me, a little bit of a 2 schools of thought that only one is specified in. Because why make it a beast gunner archetype when you could just have exotic weapon proficiency? Like,
Hello?
yeah.
Okay. So, you don't have to be a beast gunner to craft beast guns.
Oh,
You
okay.
You just need magical crafter.
Anybody can make the beast guns. Got it.
Yes. The beast gunner, however, specializes in beast guns as in that they're able to tap into their like innate magical qualities that the beast guns have.
Right, but if it's just one beast gun, that's a feat, not an archetype. Which is what I like. So that character having the, like, you would take the feat for that specific gun, and that's it. So unless the beast gunner has access to a bunch of feats for just that gun, it makes sense to me that each feat would be a different type of gun usage, which I don't know if it is or not. So
No, it's
this
more
is
or
all.
less- So you get, mind you, also have to be level 6 to take this feat, like the be a beast gunner.
Right, you don't want to give somebody a level 5 spell level 1.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what that gun is.
Yeah, you gotta be trained in Arcana and crafting,
Okay.
and you have to be expert in at least one type of firearm. And you own a beast gun, and you have slain the creature type associated with that beast gun.
Like, there's
And
so
fair
much.
hunt.
That's so much prerequisite.
And then you learn spells. Like you can become a spell slinging.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, what is the Beast Gunner a base of? Like, what is the Beast Gunner just a feat tree, or is it an archetype? Because I thought it was an archetype.
It's an archetype.
Okay. Is there a base class that is Beast Gunner, or is it just
No?
No. Okay. So you can do it as a ranger or a gunslinger or whatever else.
Yep.
Okay. Good. Because it really feels like Blue Mage, right? And that's kind of where I'm getting at. Like that's where my head's at when I'm talking about this. Is like it feels like because of those are the prerequisites. Specialized in guns, great.
Yep.
Killed the creature, harvested the creature, built a gun out of it, right? So that's 4 things that have to happen to use that gun. So that's either the requirements for 1 feat in my mind, right? You do that, and now you have full access to that gun. Or this is the prerequisite for the archetype that gives you access to any gun so long as you meet these requirements for it.
Which is kind of the latter.
It's kind of the latter. Okay.
It's like,
okay.
It doesn't like stop you directly from picking or changing out your gun. It's just they very flavor-wise, like the narrative that they try to tell with Beast Gunners is that they specialize in a type of special beast gun.
Okay. So it kind of
there's
reminds
nothing that
me
restricts you.
Okay. It reminds me more of like a lot of the archetypes like that I do feel are kind of more NPC specific or campaign specific, right? Like, hey, you guys just slayed this creature. Does one of you want to take this feat and become, a beast gunner from it?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I do think it could be its own kind of mini game though. Like that's the thing I think I'm missing from it.
I will say it was published in Guns and Gears, so it is a source book, which means like very much meant for players kind of take, not for specific adventures.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, you get like some of your feats are like call your gun. You can let it, if for some reason you and your gun are separated, it teleports to you.
Yeah,
an action.
Something I was reading. One of those forums I was reading was saying that like it's supposed to feel a lot more like the Eldritch Knight kind of concept, which is like the Warlock subclass, which once again makes me think that it's supposed to be kind of in-game unlockable, right? Like not something you just build your character for, but more something that happens.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like. I kind of like that concept. But it's the same thing of like how often I'm not a big fan of like I'm going to start as a warlock. Here's all the cool shit I want. I like warlock being like kind of a punishment or like do you want to take this horrible quest? And like, oh man, power. Do I want power? So
most of the feats are giving you like spellcasting stuff.
Which is cool. I like the Beast Gunner idea, but there's just a lot you can do with it and a lot of shenanigans with it. Let me read this chat real quick. I think it would be neat if you could take Spell Scribe and inscribe enchantment to add spells to items. Yeah. I mean, craft magical item does both of those things, right? Like if a wizard gets around, like if a wizard ever gets around your manuals, you might incentivize them to steal your stuff. I love your Skullbird guy. Thank you, Eliam. Elliot, what do you mean? I'm confused. Sorry. Go ahead, Corvus. We're caught up on
I don't know what I was saying. So.
All right. Yeah, we were kind of just rambling, but I feel like there's great potential with the Beast Gunner as being its own mini game within the game. But I think not just for gunners though, right? Like, oops, Aggie just exploded. Something that people do all the time is you slayed a dragon. Do you want some of the scales to make armor, right? Like that's pretty classic D&D. But what we're missing is you slayed a dragon. Do you want to stick your sword in its icy gullet to have an ice sword? And it's like, holy shit, you can do that? It's like, no, you can't, but it's cool. I think that's kind of what my mind is with the Beast Gunner.
I think like moving forward, I think that's how I'm going to think about it. Is slaying dragons or just like high powered creatures should give the option of like there's a chance that you could augment your weapons permanently because of this achievement that you've unlocked. Like you've hit these 4 things. Yeah, just like it's essentially it should just be a big upgrade, right? Like, and with the beast gunner, if it's not supposed to be like the blue mage, just like you beat this thing, now you have this. You've beaten this dragon, now you can add fire breaths to your weapon attacks. You beat this, and you can add this to your weapon attacks, which is kind of what I originally thought it was supposed to be. Like you kept augmenting the same weapon. It's just like you just slapped this monster part on it, and now it's this gun.
That's what the plus team did. They basically made it where a variant rule of the beast gunner is that you can take one of your pre-existing guns and slap animal parts to it.
And that makes
basically
ease of access. That makes so much sense.
Yeah,
like I love that concept, and that's great for any class though. Like, one of my friends would do that with. He constantly plays this character. He's like, "Can I be a blank?" Sometimes he's a rogue, sometimes he's a warrior, sometimes he's a ranger. And he's like, "But I want to be able to like consume magical items to use their abilities." And it's like, that's cool. I love it. You find a sword +1 sword. It's like, nope, you absorb it into your bow, and now you have a +1 flame bow. Like that's cool. That's just cool. And Pathfinder kind of does that now with their runes. You can just take runes off of things and put them on. It just takes time and money. And I think that is inherently kind of a cool and fun mechanic that allows you to really keep the flavor of your character without having to like compromise. I know you like everything you have is built with swords, but here's a really powerful axe, and there's like, I'm not going to use it because I need my sword. So like I also like that kind of play, but it has to be a specific, like characters have to be built for that. It's like, hey, this is the thing where you're going to be scrounging for weapons. Don't pick something that can only use one type of weapon, right? Like that's not going to be fun. So minecart.
Growth gun.
Growth gun? What?
Growth gun.
Growth gun.
It's the one that grows its own ammunition.
I had the there are healing bullets in Pathfinder 2nd Edition now.
Are there?
Yes. Yes.
What are they called?
Life bullets, I think. They act as a potion of vitality. Very small potion of vitality in like a capsulated bullet. And I had one of those on my character, on my investigator, like in his little coat pistol for a long time, and I never used it. And then right before I died, I was like, all right, I think I'm going to take my gun out and just eat it. And they're like, that's messed up and fucked up. I'm like, yeah, and it heals me for 6 now. And they're like, what the hell? It's like, yeah. I have a healing injector in my coat that looks like a gun essentially, because I didn't have any. I had regular bullets, but I kept using like, they also have slime bullets, which are really funny. They just like shoot goo.
Yep.
You can build a really weird like pistolero that is almost like Green Arrow instead of being an actual gunslinger. Just with all the weird shit you can make, which could be a fun alchemist build too. I'd like to request a 2-foot-tall wizard that's a 90% beard wearing a large pointy hat. There's also no visible skin, just beard. So just a beard with a hat.
Well, like those
Mr.
Scandinavian trolls.
Beard with pointy hat. It's on the list. It didn't save me. I died horribly. And then Jump Rope took it and used it to save my new character's life, which was great. Did you find the life bullets?
I have not. Which is very...
Life shot. It's called life shot. Special cartridge that carries a small dose of the elixir of life. A creature hit with this activated life shot takes no damage from the successful attack. Instead, receives healing and gaining an item bonus on saving throws against disease and poisons.
I was I was looking in magical ammunition, not alchemical
Yeah,
ammunition.
it's alchemical. A D4 of hit points plus 1.
Woo! Oh, was that a minor one?
Yeah, that's the smallest one. I think it's 5 gold for that, so pretty comparable to the potion. The biggest one costs 9,000 gold and does 10d4 plus 14.
Yep. So it ramps up pretty quickly because
Bam!
it goes from 5 gold to 10 gold. Not 10 gold, but 50 gold.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a lot.
Yeah, because the way the alchemical things work, I think it's every 3 levels. So it's a level 1 item, level 3 item, level 5 item, or 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And they just ramp up like that. Basically, in order to make an item, you have to make a blueprint, but your blueprint book would be makeshift spell book. Oh, yeah. That's how the formulas work in 2E. Basically, they're pseudo magical. Some of them are. There's a funny thing that happens with the alchemical, like you can learn spells and the alike in your formula book if you're crafting magical items as an alchemist, but they are not spells. Like that's the weird thing about it. Like wizards can share their spell books, but alchemists have a completely different like way of using the same magic, so you can't transfer those things, which has always been a little weird to me. So whenever I'm like Finny is my crafting character that I keep trying to build, I always give her a spell book and a formula book, so that you can like, because you can make scrolls and stuff as well, but you need a spell book to make to have those, or someone who knows the spell. So it's kind of interesting because wizards can do that, or you need like a sorcerer to be there to like inject the magic into the book or the scroll, which I think is a cool idea. But Brooker was my other one, who was, I gave him one level in fighter, 1 level in wizard, and then a couple levels in cleric, and that way he had access to like all martial weapons, all spells, and he could craft anything. It was awesome. I loved it. He was a fun character. I might remake him too instead of Finny if they don't fix the alchemist. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, seeing the new alchemist stuff, I don't know if I ever would want to still play it.
You know, I think
That's just me though.
the alchemist does not a good crafter make. It's just like the crafting in D&D and stuff, like you really have to homebrew it to make it the thing you want it to be. And so I have to look at the alchemist again, because I think they made the bomber a lot better, because that was the big build a long time ago. Like using your intelligence to do splash damage is cool. It's fun. It makes splash weapons a lot more viable, like even alchemical fire or just making alchemical bombs. That can be a lot of fun because you're just like running around popping stuff. And then there's the mutagen, which I think the mutagen is fun and quirky. A barbarian just does it better because it's more consistent, and consistency is kind of like the thing that makes a games function. So, because even if you do want to do the mutagen, you can do strength to make yourself comparable to a barbarian. Like you basically induce a chemical rage, or you can be a mind chemist, which when you drink the potion, it makes you super smart. But like all that does is raise your spell DCs or your splash damage on your bombs by like 1 or 2 points. And you don't have a huge spell list, so it doesn't matter. And it's never made sense to be the mind chemist to me. So I really think the alchemist has always been a secondary class. It's always been like an archetype class. So if you're a wizard and then you do the mind chemist, that's cool, because then your wizard spells are amplified, right? It's a good archetype thing. Same thing, like if you're a barbarian and you drink this potion and then rage, like you're great. You're super good. But the alchemist by itself is just a little lackluster. And part of that's because I keep trying to do like the crafting builds. So it's like I make all these cool items that are really better for anybody but me. And that's a bummer too. So I do like the healing aspect of an alchemist is kind of fun. Which I've tried to do in the past. Like I can make a shit ton of healing potions with Finny. But the problem is nobody wants to use healing potions. They want to spend their actions stabbing stuff. So it's like you're only as good as your team is willing to accept that, which is why I made her more of a tank. Because it's like, I have healing potions, but here's some potions. I'll take the damage for a little bit while you guys heal, I guess. So it's kind of weird. I don't think it's for everybody. It's one of those weird support classes that doesn't make a lot of sense. So, but it can be fun.
Because I know one of the big issues for alchemists that people had, especially if you were like doing the bomber route, was your bombs, which are counted as weapons. You could you'll get to the point where you just can't hit anything because your proficiency used to cap out at expert,
right,
and nothing else.
So this was
now
the
goes
problem
to the master.
Yeah, that was like a kind of an oversight, because in the old one, like it's weird being an alchemist if you want to be a bomber because you need dex to throw the item, and then int to do damage, and so it's like dex and int. That's a weird build. But then there were some ways where you could use your int to throw it, and that made it better. Like that fixed it. It's like, okay, cool. Now I don't have to split stats. 2E I think is a little better about that because eventually all of your stats kind of pad and they all kind of catch up. Yeah. So it's a lot easier to have those kind of dual split things. But the cool thing that I liked about splash damage is like you can target a square. Like if you don't need dexterity because you're not trying to like crack somebody in the face with your bombs. You're just trying to get the bombs out there if they have an effect, which is fun. So it's like if there's 2 or 3 goblins near each other, you're just like DC 10, I throw a bomb at this square. They're all slowed now. It does 5 damage, but they're all slow and on difficult terrain. Like that's cool. That's what bombs should be about. I light everything in this circle on fire. It's like great. I love that. So like that's really, once again, if it's your primary function, it doesn't feel great because you're just like 5 damage, 5 damage, 5 damage, that's my turn. But if you freeze them and then have something else to do, it's a lot of fun. Like the fire breath, that's why I like the fire breath potions and stuff, or growth potions. Like it's a lot of weird support shit that is a very strange play style, and you just like you have to want to do it that way. Alchemist and Summoner they introduced some weird asymmetries. Yeah, they're fundamentally different perspectives on the game is the problem. Like everything else that happens with Summoner and Alchemy is not functional anywhere else in the game. Like having that many creatures, it's like, what if I played 2 characters? It's like, that's not something anybody can do. It's like, I don't have to aim. I'm just going to do damage. It's like, that's also not fair. What the hell? Yeah. So I like them. They're fun, but they're weird. They're definitely weird. And I like that kind of, like, having that flexibility in a game system, I think is great anyways. So it is what it is. Druid, how are you doing? I see you're still in sketch mode. I could probably do one more and then call it. I don't know what else to do with this little gnome and a minecart. But it is 11 o'clock. I've been going for 3 hours? About? 2 hours? 3 hours?
2 hours.
Did I start at 8 or 9? I think I started at 9. It doesn't matter. Well, I'm going to do one more. We'll do one more at least, and then we'll see how we're feeling. 8. Male Goblin Artificer Bounty Hunter with Mechanical Arm. Did I say Goblin? I think I said Goblin. Didn't think I finished painting this one anyways. Wrap it up when you're ready. Yeah, let's do one more. Let's do one more Goblin here. Lots of top-heavy characters today. Except for that drow. I don't know what happened with that drow. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the drow.
Oh, you didn't know?
To make an item, you have to make a blue. Oh, yeah, I already read that.
Hydromutation. Oh. So, Archives of Nessus news. They have updated their site for the new How of the Wild content.
Nice. So. I kind of want to make this like a really beastly goblin lady. I'm gonna do it. Didn't specify gender.
It's
I can do what I want.
Feral.
Just. Beefy and curvy. Here we go.
The Minecraft gnome looked awesome. Thank you. Was it supposed to be a Minecraft gnome? Is that what the... Was that the idea? Did I get tricked into drawing fan art? Didn't they do a D&D Minecraft thing? How did that play out? I don't think anybody I heard talk about it. Like, everyone was excited for it, and then I never heard anything.
I wouldn't know. I don't do the Minecraft. What is this Minecraft you speak of?
I've seen no implementation of it. Ah, okay. So it hasn't come out yet.
That makes sense. One of them pipe dreams.
Ooh, excuse me.
I almost said bless you. I don't know why.
No, it was just a big yawn.
Yeah.
What's up, Skip Cat?
Alright, bounty hunter. Bounty hunter. What do bounty hunters wear? Leather, I guess?
Whatever dog the bounty hunter wears.
I think South Park is just... God. I hate giving South Park credit, but like they're just so overtly clever and stupid. And I love and hate them. When they did the Dog the Bounty Hunter thing, it was super, super hilarious. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. It's like 10 plus years old. Did I just make Goblin Furiosa? Is that what I did? Goblin hair is tough for me. There's just so much
The head is so big. Hair is hair. Any hair can work. I don't see the negatives to having Curios. Yeah, oh, Curios is great. Maybe this is too much teeth, which I know, like, goblins need lots of teeth, but I think it's funny to draw goblins' mouths that go, like, all the way out to the ears, but really they should stop at the eye, because otherwise the skull doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that helps. That helps a lot. Skull doesn't make sense anyways. Yeah, that's fair. Keep cat, you gotta chill the fuck out. I think I'm winding down. I think that's about all she wrote. Let's give her some earrings and stuff. I like this character. I might draw this character some more. Furiosa Goblin. Kuro, welcome in. Could be from Numeria. Where's that? What's Numeria? Is that like the Tinker Town? Or the future place?
Hello?
Yep.
Area is where a spaceship landed.
Okay.
In next to like caveman barbarian.
So it's where you get He-Man.
Or like Thundar or the barbarian, yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. Northern Galarian with the Star Metal and AI Gods. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about AI Gods. That's actually kind of fun. I've only ever looked at that place
where oh, finish your thought.
I was gonna say, like, I only ever looked at that area because, like, I think that's where like the revolvers and stuff came from. So there's like a weird sci-fi western town somewhere around there. That might have been something that my GM just added in.
Because most of like the really super high sci-fi stuff comes from that area, from like being scavenged from the ship that crash landed.
Because it's essentially like it's the Starfinder stuff, but that bleeds over, right? I think that was the
Yeah.
idea. Like, both worlds exist, and it's just a matter of them not interacting with each other.
Yeah. Because, like, Starfinder is, like, almost alternate timeline or, like, super far in the future of Pathfinder.
Right.
Also, could have a vehicle mechanic goblin. There you go.
Yeah.
It's an archetype.
There's a like something driver. I can't remember what it's called. Stunt driver or something. That lets you like kick your vehicles into power slides and stuff, even if it's like a wagon. I thought that was really funny. You're thinking of Alkenstar? Okay. Mana waste where magic nukes were deployed. Gotcha.
Yep.
I like this goblin, and it's really sketchy, and I could probably spend some time cleaning it up, but I think I'm going to call it. I think it's time to call it.
Trick driver.
Trick driver, yeah. We will be back on Friday. We'll be back on Friday. Try to finish up this list. If you have not suggested a character, you're very welcome to. You can put it on the community post, or you can put it in the Discord, or you can put it out here. Next week, we might do something a little different, because I think it's going to be harder for me to do lots of sketches. So I'm going to I'll put up a poll this weekend, probably, asking people if there's a little bit of a different format we can try. Because next month, I'm going to be in charge of taking care of the boy a lot more. And so I'm not sure how that's going to affect the live streams, but it might also mean I get to make more long-form content, because I might just start streaming stuff in the Discord, because that way I don't have to worry about, like, I can curate what actually gets put out better in case I need to, like, stand up and leave for 20 minutes, right? So we'll look into that next month. It's going to be some weird stuff. I have the stickers and some cool stuff to send out for the Patreons, but the video for the stickers hasn't come out yet, so I'm, like, hesitant to actually ship it. So we'll see what happens with that. But if you want to become a Patreon member, there's a link down below. That helps the channel out a lot. Otherwise, just go watch the YouTube shorts and give them a thumbs up. If you see any of my shorts, give it a thumbs up, like, or a thumbs down. Like, watch the first 5 seconds and it was boring, thumbs down it, and then I'll know not to make that content anymore. But yeah, we'll start figuring it out. We're gonna have to fiddle around with the channel for a little bit. I am working on commissions as well, because that's something I can do on my own time. I have a whole bunch for OKSDM where we're using some of the sketches from the viewer suggestion here as a baseline for content for a book. So if your stuff has ever been drawn, it might show up. Something similar might show up in one of the saga books, which could be really fun. So other than that, I'll be working on those this week and next week. I am taking commissions again, so if you do, I have like 2 slots open right now for commissions. So if you want to do that, contact me in the Discord. Otherwise, that's all I have. Thanks for hanging out today. Drew, thanks for drawing with me. Corvus, thanks for chit-chatting. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table. We'll catch everybody next time. Let's see if there is anybody to transfer over the raid to. I think Indestructible Boy might have been online earlier. We'll see if they still are. I'll post all of these in the Discord. You guys are welcome to use them for your in-game stuff. Nope, everything's upcoming. Okay, that's it. That's all we got. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you on Friday. Bye. I need an end screen. That's what I need.